Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Welcome to the show. We're so happy to be here today. I am a life and business transformational success coach, a #1 international best-selling author, an award-winning inspirational speaker, and of course a humanitarian. And I love illuminating, educating, inspiring, empowering, and igniting people to find and embrace their life purpose, live their highest vision, and forge a strong foundation so you too can soar to success. For more information on how to work with me, please visit us at ldcstrategies.com or LorianneCasdia.com. I am there, or Coach Lorianne. You can get to me a whole bunch of different ways. It's not a problem. Here on Healthy Lifestyle, we are going to give you some verbal caffeine to light you up today with possibilities. And today on our show, we have Brandon Leibowitz. He's from SEO Optimizers.com. He runs and operates an SEO Optimizers since 2007, and they're a digital marketing company that focuses on helping small and medium-sized businesses like I do get more online traffic, which in turn converts into what? Clients, sales, and leads. Welcome to the show, Brandon. Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me on today.
So glad you're here. So Brandon, let's talk about, we talk about optimization. SEO is what we hear, search engine optimization. Let our listeners understand, like, what is optimization? Like, what's the purpose for it?
It helps you get more free traffic. So when you're searching on any search engine, whether it's Google, Bing, Amazon, could be Yelp, anywhere where you could search, there's usually ads at the top. Those are all paid ads. But right below the ads are the organic, the free listings, and SEO is about getting you in those free listings. So you don't have to spend money on those paid ads. And it's all about just going in and making tweaks and changes to help the algorithms better understand that you're relevant to whatever that search query is, and trying to make you show up so you could just capture that free traffic.
Yeah, and and why experts like yourself are so important is there are like rules to the game. And if you use a certain word enough, that will bring you up to the first page. And if you have a lot of activity on your website, on your social media, any kind of presence digitally, it'll bring your page up higher. So correct, right?
Yep, that is the main goal, is get you up there and try to avoid spending paid ads.
Exactly, which, I'm opposed to. I like to get free. Free is good. It's really, really good to get what we call earned media. That means you're not paying for it. And this is a really good way for you to get that I call websites your first hit business cards, because then they need to interact with you and get that know, like, trust factor. But it's real important to have optimization so people can even know that you're out there. So how do you optimize a website for conversions? Like, what's your process?
That's where you just gotta take a step back and look at your website and just make sure it's easy to navigate through. It's not cluttered, especially on mobile, making sure it's easy to find things. So maybe asking friends or family, can you find this product or service or whatever it is on your website? And you can see where they get stuck. The main thing is most people don't scroll on the website. So whatever you see on the screen, that's called above the fold. Once you start scrolling, that's below the fold. And most people do not scroll. So you have to have all your pertinent information at the top. I mean, like a call to action. So if you're e-commerce, you should have like the shop now or add to cart button right there, so they don't have to scroll down. If you're a service-based business, maybe you have a form right here, so people could fill out the form, or have your phone number up there so people could just see all that without having to scroll down. Having like a value proposition, like letting people know what's in it for me, it's really helpful. So that's something that you need on every single page, just letting people know what's the benefit of using your product or service. And maybe have like a video or some bullet points or something easy to just quickly scan, because if you just have like a big image on your website, that doesn't really tell much. So like a lot of people just have like that big hero image, which doesn't really give you much to work with, versus having like a value proposition, maybe like a little video there, some bullet points, so people could quickly skim and just gather everything really quickly, because attention spans are so short that you need to just captivate them right away and capture their attention.
Well, there's a lot of noise out there, especially since social media. And so, yeah, capturing our nanosecond brains is really important, and that's what you're talking about as far as the value proposition. What's in it for me? I need to know what you do for me within seconds. If that happens, then they go below the fold, and I call it diving deeper to get more information. And certain personalities will dive deeper automatically. Somebody who's a knowledge-based type of a personality, they're going to dive deeper. Somebody who's a blueprint type of personality, they're going to dive deeper. But someone like myself, who's a nurturer, I want pretty and yummy right away. That will get me to dive deeper. But if you don't have that right at the beginning, you're not gonna have that value to push them deeper, right?
Yeah, you have to offer that value and get them hooked right away.
Yeah. So now you use a word, you're using a lot of industry technical terms. So you use a word called conversion. Let's talk slowly, because you talk New York fast, my friends. And there are people from all over the nation listening going, oh my God, between Lorianne and Brandon, they're talking a mile a minute. So I'm going to ask you to slow down a little bit, but let's talk about, what does conversion mean? So I go to your I go to the website and I see what's going on. What makes me convert? What does conversion mean?
Conversion is really whatever you want to make it. So it's just a goal that you want people to do. So it could be for e-commerce, making a purchase, that would be a conversion. So if someone buys off your website, your service-based business, you could say if someone fills out a form, that's a conversion, or someone joins your newsletter, that could be a conversion. And it's really whatever you want to start tracking. So it's not just let's track this, it's let's kind of track all these different things that have touch points that ultimately lead to someone becoming a client or a sale, but that's ultimately a conversion, but they can mean so many different things.
People taking action, right? So the conversion is someone taking an action on the website. And it converts to sales, or an opportunity, a warm lead, or an opportunity to continue to engage with them, like a newsletter, an email blast, obtaining their email. So I love that you do that. So what SEO strategies work in 2023? Because dear Lord, based on all the things that are changing and based on our just inundation with digital, what works now? What SEO things work now?
I mean, for the most part, it's just providing good quality content to Google. So Google feeds off text. Google struggles with images and videos. They're getting better at it, but they really rely heavily on text. So the more text you have on every single page on your website, the easier it is for the search engines to read, understand, and know what your page is about. So having good quality content is one of the most important things that needs to be on every single page on your website, not just the home page, but any page that you want to rank needs some text on it. The more text that you put out there, that's original content, can't be copied from one page to another.
Right. So one of the things that I will say is contrary to what I'm used to, which is, I will always say when I'm working with people with websites, is don't give a lot of text, because people aren't reading. They're going to look at the pictures, they're going to watch the videos, but they're not reading. So how do we convert that so there's that right balance?
Yeah, I just usually tell people put the text at the very bottom of the page, so you don't have just a bunch of text
below the fold, below that first part that you don't have to scroll with, because people give up very easily, right? It's like, oh, if they don't catch it. It's similar to going on, dear God, I hate to compare websites to this, but like Instagram, if you don't catch somebody, they're not going to stop their scroll on Instagram, right? It works the opposite on a website. If you don't catch them right at the top, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's my understanding, if you don't catch them right at the top, they're not going to scroll, and you want them to scroll your website. You want them to get the rest of the story. You want them to dive deeper, right?
That's why you just got to get that balance of making it look nice at the top and pretty and simplified at the top, and then lower down you can get more technical and have more details, but the top needs to just be really basic on your website and just not overcomplicate things, not have too much text or clutter. But lower down is where you want to have that text. So it's that balance for people. You want to optimize for people at the top of your website to make sure it converts above the fold. Then below the fold, you can have all that SEO friendly content, text, things like that for Google. So again, that balance.
Yeah, I was working with a website person who was like, I want to put all of these competitors on your website. And I'm like, what now? And they were like, yeah, I want you to put all of these names on the website. We're going to bury it in one of your back pages. And I was just like, well, okay, but why? And they said, because every time somebody Googles that person, they're now going to also get you. So you're going to become synonymous. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Okay. But I don't want it on my homepage. So you're saying the same thing. It's just like, you don't want to inundate on that homepage on that first part above the fold so that you're able to really capture them. But you do want to SEO on the back. And that's where your expertise comes in, right? You go in there, you take a website and you really, I look at it as firing it up. You give it turbo. You make it searchable, because there are so many, I call them invisible websites. You have to know the domain to find it, because it doesn't come up on page one. They're invisible and it doesn't do you any good not to come up, right? So you help with that with the SEO. Do you help with optimizing, like some of the strategies? What are some of the strategies you actually implement when you do the SEO strategic plan?
Well, it's not really one size fits all. Every website's different. So it's
Nice. I love that. Say
yeah,
that again. Say that again, because some people think one size fits all and it does not.
no, every website is unique. So we have to look at each one individually and just figure out what your competitors are doing, because that's ultimately what we're trying to figure out is who's your competition, how much SEO have they done, and how can we do a better job of it? Because we're not trying to beat Google. It's going to be great. We could figure out Google, but Google changes their algorithm daily. So it makes it a little tricky. So trying to figure out who your competition is, what have they done, and how can we do a better job of it is more feasible. And that's where we just do competitive analysis, search on Google, see who ranks for your keywords. Those are your competitors, because online and offline is different. So we want to figure out who your competitors are online and make note of them, and then really look at their strategy, look at their keywords, look at what type of content, how many pages they have, all these really technical things, but also looking at their backlinks, because backlinks are what ranks websites. The backlinks are clickable links from other websites that point to yours. So let's say you're reading an article in the LA Times, and there it says Brandon Leibowitz. You click on it and it goes to my website. I'd be getting a backlink from the latimes.com. So with SEO, we really want to look at backlinks and look at your competitors' backlinks and see how many backlinks do they have versus how many backlinks do we have. And that's going to tell us what the disconnect is and how to get to the level that we need to be at using different tools. You have to pay for these tools, but Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush are all some of the paid tools that will show you any website's backlinks. So you can quickly find your competition, see what backlinks they have, and then start trying to reach out to the sites that are linking out to your competitors to see if they would potentially link out to you.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant. And I love that. And you mentioned something, keywords, it's like metadata, things like that. Those are, again, technical terms that are thrown out there. Keywords are really important because that really links you up, right? So how do you do research for the keywords? I love that we're utilizing the marketing dollars of our competitors to get the data we need to yummy up our site and to really, nestle up to them. How do you find those keywords? And how many do you take? Because you can find a lot of keywords. So how many do you take? 100? Do you take 10? Do you take 15?
Well, each page can only target about 3 to 5 keywords. After that, it kind of loses relevancy. So you want to try to figure out what the more important keyword is. Should I use a singular or plural or a synonym? And if you want to target new keywords, you got to create more pages. The more pages you have, the more keywords you can target, and the more targeted that page becomes about that specific keyword, because it's all about relevancy. So if you just have like 100 keywords on one page, it's not the most relevant. It just kind of blends it all in together. Like if you're if you're a plumber and you say, I'm a plumber in Los Angeles and also in Santa Monica and in Long Beach and Pasadena, and you put it all on this one page, that's good. But someone searching for Pasadena plumber, if there's a page that's specifically about that city and plumbing in that city, that becomes more relevant to Google. So the more pages you have, the more keywords you can target. Don't just create a bunch of pages to create them, but as long as it makes sense, that's going to help out. And that's why blogging became popular too. It's another way to just add more text, add more content to your website, and just target new sets of keywords that will draw in a new audience.
Yeah.
But when doing keyword research, there's lots of different ways to do it. One easy way is just search on Google for your keyword and look at who's on that first page of Google. Look at that blue clickable link. It's called the SEO title tag, and that's where everyone puts their keywords. So you can quickly find the competitors, see what they're utilizing, and kind of make notes, see if you think that you want to rank for like real estate agent in Los Angeles, but you see everyone's using realtor in Los Angeles, maybe realtor might be a better keyword, but you still want to double check.
Yeah.
And that's where we use tools like the Google Keyword Planner. It's a free
And have
tool.
an expert like you who deal with this every day to really guide you. So if you're not, and as a business coach, I'm like, if this is not your zone of genius, hire someone like you. This is your zone of genius. And you do it like getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth. It's natural, it's automatic. This is what you do. So we want to hire somebody like you to do this SEO optimization so that you get the best and you understand it. But I will always say this, and you'll appreciate this, Brandon, is you need to understand why Brandon is doing what Brandon's recommending and why the process is the way it is. But let Brandon do his magic so that you could really optimize your website and explode it, right? Am I right on that?
Yep, that is what I do, is make sure that Google trusts you and gets you to rank at the top.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the jobs that you have, which is the hardest yet easiest, is because we'll know right away if you did a good job because your ranking will start to go up, go up, go up, go up, and then boom, you're there. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, right? What is the momentum? Because I know on marketing, momentum is usually 6 months to 8 months. You'll really see a difference. Around 6 to 8 months is that yummy spot. Where is the momentum on SEO? It's not right away.
Well, it's kind of similar to that, but also it just depends on how big your website is versus the competitors, or really how many backlinks you have versus your competitors, because it all comes down to these backlinks. The more backlinks you have from quality sites, the more trust Google's going to give to you and the higher they're going to rank you. So let's say your competitors have 1,000 backlinks and you're a brand new website starting out with 0 backlinks. It's probably going to take at least a year or more, just because Google doesn't trust a new website, versus if you're a website that's been around for a few years and you have some backlinks, and let's say you have like a couple hundred backlinks and your competitors have 1,000 backlinks, then probably take maybe about 6 months, because there's a big difference right there. But it all comes down to the backlinks. Really, the more backlinks you have, the higher you're going to rank, or the more trust Google's going to give to you.
Yeah, and which makes perfect sense. You're just re-explain the backlinks.
So backlink is just a clickable link from another website that points to yours. So anywhere that you're on the internet and you're reading something and it mentions your company name and you click on it and it goes to your website, then it would be a backlink. So like if you're reading an article on Huffington Post and it says your name and you click on it and it goes to your website, then Huffington Post would be giving you a backlink.
So that's why a lot of people do affiliates. So if I am affiliate to somebody else, every time I go there, I also get a backlink advantage, right?
For the most part, I mean, Google says, well, it gets kind of technical, but there's all these little codes that you can add on a link saying, don't count this backlink for SEO. It's an affiliate link, or all these other things. So affiliate links don't really count for SEO. Unless, I mean, sometimes they do, but most of the times the way it's set up, they're not going to count for SEO purposes, because Google knows that you're just gaming the system and they want you to earn these backlinks. They don't want you to just be like, here's an affiliate program, and then everyone just throws a link up there. That's not what Google wants. They want you to work.
How about my linking to other trusted service providers that I have? Like I work with other coaches and I work with other services that are not in, because I try to keep my clients in their zone of genius. So someone like you, if I put your company up there and link to your site because I want my clients to use it, does that count as a backlink? Or does it?
Me,
for you, yeah.
You'd be giving me a backlink. So
yeah,
the more third-party sites that mention me, the higher I'm going to rank. So as long as there's another website that talks about you, that would be a backlink. If you're just posting a link on your website to your website, that's not a back, or to someone else, you're just giving someone else a backlink. Like what you just mentioned is you're going to be helping me out. But
I don't mind helping you out if you help me out.
Yeah.
Backlink to me, my friend. Backlink to me. I love that. You talk about, competitor analysis and stuff like that. Online competitors, not brick and mortar competitors, because it definitely is different. That doesn't contribute to our SEO, whether it's real or not. If we have competitors, I don't believe in competition, because I believe who we're supposed to serve, we serve. But what are the techniques for competitor analysis if I were to make a silly idea and do it myself and not hire you?
Yeah, the best is just go to Google, search for your keywords, see who's on that first page of Google, and make note of those websites, because if they're on that first page of Google, that's your competition online. So if you're a restaurant, you might have a bunch of restaurants in your city, but that's all offline. If none of them rank on Google, that's not your competitor online. So online and offline is different. So if you're a restaurant, you definitely want to make sure you target your offline competitors offline, but online, you want to make sure if Yelp's ranking for your keywords, that is your competitor, even though they're not a restaurant. If Yelp's ranking for restaurant near me, that technically is your competitor online, and you got to figure out what have they done and how can I do a better job of it.
Yeah, I like looking at competitors as an opportunity for me not to spend marketing dollars because they've already done it. So if we look at what they've done and we emulate that, we can actually equal or surpass them by just utilizing their marketing dollars. It's an old marketing trip from years ago when I was in like old school marketing, where we didn't have online digital. We used to do that all the time, is see what they were doing and emulate it and just follow behind them. And we were picking up the breadcrumbs, but their breadcrumbs are so humongous, they don't miss it. And it gives us a huge amount of sales. So kind of like the same idea, but in digital world, it's a lot tweakier. How I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for being here today, Brandon. We want to continue the conversation about keywords and things like that. We're going to take a short little break, come back, speak with Brandon Leibowitz from SEO Optimizers.com, so we can get more yummy information about how to really optimize our websites, personal blogging and/or business. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne. If you would like to be a guest or lift up your business, product or non-for-product, or if you have a question or comment, we would love to hear from you. Email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. Again, healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. We would love to be able to have a conversation with you. We answer every single email personally, so give us a shout out. We're going to welcome you back today. Today we're speaking to you with Brandon Leibowitz from SEO Optimizers. He really is a fast talking LA guy. We just had a conversation on the break wondering if he was from New York. His parents are, but is from LA and unbelievably brilliant at SEO. So again, we want to stay in our zone of genius. This is Brandon's zone of genius. Brandon, when we were talking, and thank you again for coming back, we were talking about keywords, our competitor analysis, things like that. Let's just elevate this back to 50,000 feet. What are the benefits of SEO? We hear SEO, you got to optimize, blah, blah, blah. What are the benefits? Why do we do this?
The main benefit is just tapping into free traffic. So SEO is search engine optimization. And when you're searching on different search engines, whatever platform it may be, like Google or Bing or Amazon or anywhere where you could search, there's usually ads at the top. Those are all paid ads, but right below the ads are the free organic listings. And SEO is just giving you that free traffic, so you don't have to spend money on paid ads, and you could still rank when people search for your keywords and just capture that free traffic essentially.
Now, do you think, and I might be an albatross, but I don't typically use the ones that are ads. I don't do the paid for ads people. I usually scroll down until I find the not ads. Do you think a lot of people use those first people in the ads, or do you think it's even? Do you have a way of looking at that?
I feel like it's more accidental clicks. So people just don't realize they're ads, and Google changes the word ad to sponsored or moves it around, so it's not always the same. But I feel like most people try to avoid the ads if they know it's an advertisement, but every once in a while, you don't realize it, click on it, and you think it's organic, especially like something like Yelp, where you search on Yelp, they'll have like 10 ads at the top. So it makes it really tricky where you think you're clicking on the organic, but it's just a long list of ads. And then finally you get to the organic. So they hide them. Different platforms hide them better than others.
Yeah.
So people definitely click on them, but it's just most people, if they knew it was an advertisement, probably would avoid it. So they try to blend it in and trick us.
Yeah. But on Google right now, they do say ad, and I think they need to be transparent like that it's an ad. That's why they're there. It's not that they're best of, because the presumption, I believe, is these are the best people because they're up there. They've done it longer because they're up on that first page. And it really isn't. It's SEO combined with experience, combined with whether or not they pay for an ad or not. So I would just make sure that you're really cognitive of the decisions that you're making when you're utilizing that first page. I honestly, do you think a lot of people go to page 2? Because I don't think I ever do.
Depends too. If it's like a really specific keyword and they're looking for some model number of a product that they can't find, then they'll go down there. But yeah, most people kind of stick on page 1 for the most part. But some people, depending on how specific it is, it can go page 2, 3, 4, 5, but it doesn't go too far. Usually 2 is like the furthest most people go, page 2.
And that's another benefit of SEO. SEO helps you get to that first page. That should be the goal, is get yourself seen, get yourself out of the, what I call invisible state of a website where you have to know the URL in order for you to find the services. I know in the service industry, people aren't going to page 2. I'll tell you that right now. They're going to look at who shows up on page 1. And so you want it to be you, right? How long does it take for SEO to start working? I know we said it could be anywhere from 6 to 8 months, could be a year. Typically, what do you see?
Yeah, about 6 months on average, or sometimes it could be shorter, sometimes it could be quicker, but it just depends on how much trust this website has existing to it. So if, like, for example, I worked with one company that they've been around for like 20 years, but they didn't do much SEO to their website. Google couldn't read the website because they had it in some weird format that was blocking Google from a lot of pages. So once we cleaned up the website and made it more friendly for Google to read and crawl and understand what the keywords are on that page, they pretty much just shot up right away within like a month or 2. So it really depends, but that's a rare case where they've been around for like 20 plus years. So they've had all this trust built up. So it's all about trust. Yeah. The more trust Google gives to you, the faster you're going to get those rankings. So if you're a brand new website, Google's not going to trust you. If you've been around for a few years, Google trusts you a little bit more. If you've been around for like 5, 10 years and you have some good quality backlinks, Google's going to trust you much more. So making little changes will have a faster impact on those rankings. Whereas a brand new website, it's going to take, unfortunately, months to get those rankings. Unless it's something really niche and there's no competition, then it'll move up right away, because the more competitive also those keywords are, the more time it's going to take. Like if you're just selling something really broad and generic, like t-shirts, it's going to take probably years to rank for that, because you're competing with big corporations.
Yeah, and that's why books are really hard to sell, because there's so many books. So you have to be very, very niche on that. And there are certain like oversweeping items. But if you're very niche, like if you were an aardvark walker, you'd probably go right up to page 1. Because I don't know anybody who walks aardvark. So that would be a really good business to get into, just saying. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and again, I don't advise clients to do this at all, is a lot of people, they'll take their websites down and then put a new website up. And I'm like, why would you do that? You have all this SEO, you have all this traffic, you have some trust there. Why would you do that? What are the best practices? I have a current website. I'm changing to a different domain name, but I have these people who are following me here. What's the best protocol for someone to do? Best practices, but definitely don't take down your site.
Yeah, best practice is not changing the URL, because changing your URL makes it a whole brand new website. But if you do need to change the URL, then it's tough to keep your old one, because the old one has SEO value and you have to keep that forever, essentially. And what you have to do is, it's called a 301 redirect. So you're redirecting the traffic from the old one to the new one. So for example, if you go to books.com, it's not going to go to books.com. It actually takes you to barnesandnoble.com. So Barnes and Noble bought books.com, but they don't really want you to go to books.com. They want you to go to barnesandnoble.com. They just know so many people type in the search bar books.com that that's a good URL for them to buy, but they 301 redirect it. So instead of going to books.com, it 301 redirects them to Barnes and Noble. So you have to 301 redirect your old URL to the new one, and that preserves some of the SEO value. In the past, you would pretty much get almost all the SEO value. And that was like actually a pretty good trick, and still is a good trick to this day, is if you know your competitors are going out of business, buy their domain names, because that domain name has SEO value. And if you could buy that domain name and 301 redirect it to your website, you're maybe going to get like 40% of the SEO value. You're not going to get all of it, but you get a lot of what's called the backlinks. You're going to get a lot of those backlinks that are now attributed to your website. So that's going to be huge. If you could find old competitors, it's tough, but there's websites that just sell expired domains, or you could go like GoDaddy auctions and see if your competitors are going out of business. And if they are, grab those domain names because they don't care about it. And if you grab it, 301 redirect it, that's going to pass on that SEO value. So that's what you have to do if you're rebranding yourself and getting a whole new domain name. 301 redirect that old one to the new one. That way you don't lose it. And you have to keep that domain forever. You don't want to ever drop it because that has backlinks, unless that domain doesn't have any SEO value, which you could check using those tools that I talked about earlier, like Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush, to see, does my website have any backlinks? If it doesn't have any backlinks, then there's no real need to keep it. I mean, it still might be good to keep it for a while, but it's not really passing on any SEO value. So you don't have to keep it for indefinitely.
Right. Right. That's just siege information. And that was one of the things we had. I live on Long Island, east end of Long Island. There are a lot of vineyards and I work with a lot of the vineyards. And at a time, a couple of years ago, they were being targeted by a law firm, and they came in and said that they weren't ADA compliant. And so many of them just took their website down.
Mm.
And I was like, you did what? Well, we got advice, we should take it down. And I was like, you should never have done that, because they had decades of history up there that they just totally obliterated. And it was just very sad. In the end, the law firm didn't win, but they have to have a certain amount of time to make it compliant and things like that. It goes back to pictures and Google not being able to take care of pictures, and that's why they have to. You should really, it's a really good practice to put a name with the picture, so that if they don't pick up the picture, they'll pick up what the content was. So yeah, they pulled it down. That's probably like your nightmare. I saw your eyes open up like, what? They did. They pulled them down. They pulled down their sites. And I was just like, oh my God, no, don't do that. Don't ever do that. So it was nice that I was able to get in front of the consortium to let them know, please don't make that a practice. You can always make it ADA compliant as long as you're doing best efforts. It's not a lawsuit.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I feel like they're just trying to nitpick websites for that, but you got to make it accessible. It's
yeah,
really important, but some lawyers will just go after anyone. But when it comes down to like the website, if they take all their content down and then rebuild the website on the same URL and have all the URLs the same, that's not as bad. It's still bad to take it down temporarily, but it's not gonna have that impact from an SEO point of view. Like, as long as you don't change your URLs, that's the most important thing. If you change your domain name, that's a big change. But even if you don't change your domain name, but you change the URLs of like sub pages, or like maybe the contact us page is called contact-us, and now you name it contact. If you don't 301 redirect it, that becomes what's called a broken page, a 404 error page, and you don't want those error pages. But it's much better to just keep everything on the same main domain name versus rebuilding it, because that's where it becomes a brand new website and you're starting from scratch, unless you buy an old domain name that has SEO value, which you can do that as well. But then you can't pick your brand name. You just got to pick someone else's old company name. But that's a way to kind of jumpstart things. And that's also a way to jumpstart if you're a new business. You don't want to just wait around 6 months. If you don't care about the business name, you could just find an old expired domain and rebuild on that. And that could become your new brand.
yeah, without a doubt. You just have to, from a branding standpoint, just be careful of the historics on that particular old name, because there may be a reason why it's their old name, because it may have a bad history to it. So you don't want to get a history. Oddly enough, my old company name, there was another company with really bad customer service. And it was interfering with mine, and they didn't know there were two different companies, and their company did something totally different than what my old company did, but it didn't matter because it was the same name. So I was like, and I had to change my company name because it was just that what do you call it? History was really negatively impacting me. So by the way, PS, we did tell them to put their website back up. And they did immediately, and then they became ADA compliant. So again, compliance is important. We do want it accessible. But again, those kind of rules come into place, and that's when somebody's not really using someone like an expert like yourself who keeps them up to date on what's going on. Literally, you said it before, Google changes their algorithms almost daily. It feels like it's daily anyway. It's like they change it all the time, and they do that with purpose. They do that with purpose, because some of it is to get better and some of it is just to keep changing it up so that we all, it gives us marketing people something to do, right? As if we don't have enough to do. That's what I like to say in a nice way. So why are paid ads important? And I'm not a big proponent of paid ads. I try to avoid them as much as possible, but I know that there's an important level. But why are they important to the SEO?
I mean, from SEO point of view, running paid ads is not going to help you rank higher. Google will get in a lot of trouble if you're spending money on paid ads and they rank you higher organically. But doing SEO will make your paid ads cheaper. So if you're running paid ads on Google, it's usually cost per click. So every time someone clicks on your website from Google, you pay, could be like a couple dollars per click, be a couple cents per click, sometimes like a couple $100 for one click. It's pretty expensive, but having a well-optimized website means that cost per click might actually drop a little bit. So instead of being, let's say, $1 per click, it might drop to 97 cents per click. So you're saving a little bit of money, and in the long run, that's going to add up. But that's really the main benefit of doing SEO, is going to help out with the paid ads, making it a little bit cheaper. But paid ads work as long as you're making a positive return on ad spend. So as long as you're making more than you're putting in, then I would say no real need to turn off the ads. There's lots of different ads that you can run. The ones I really like is called remarketing. So anyone that goes to your website, doesn't do a specific action, follow them around. So like if you go on Amazon, you look at a product and you don't buy it, those ads will follow you around. Those work really, really well because these are all warm leads. People have come to your website, they just didn't make a purchase. Something happened where they got distracted, or maybe they're on their phone, somebody called them, or they were trying to check out, and on the phone, it was a really long form and they just got discouraged. And then you follow them around and hopefully get them to purchase off you. Those work really, really well. And you could remarket on pretty much every platform, like Google, YouTube, Gmail, you do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Google also has banner ads, which Google's partnered with almost every website on the internet. So anywhere where you see banner ads, 99% of the time, it's going to be through Google ads. So if you want to follow people around through the banner ads, all through Google. And it's all about testing with those ads, kind of just seeing what works, push more money to that, pull money away from what's not working. And as long as you're making a positive return on ad spend, I would keep those ads running.
Yes, you want a good ROI, return on investment. And so you do the ads as well for your clients. You don't just do the websites, but you can do the ads for them and the placement of the ads. I don't know if you design the ads as well.
No, I help with the placements because unfortunately half the people that come to your website are going to leave. It's that bounce rate. So no matter what, any website, you're going to have unfortunately about half the people just leaving. So if you can keep yourself top of mind, that really helps out. And running those remarketing ads just keeps you top of mind. It's another touch point to build up trust and credibility.
Yeah, the remarketing ads I call stalker ads. And I love that though, because like I'll put shoes in a cart or something and just abandon the cart and then go do something else. And there, poof, the shoes pop up someplace else, and poof, they're the shoes again, and poof, they're the shoes again. So I call them stalker ads. And I think they're good because they're good reminders. So when you need it, it's a good reminder. When you're looking at something you don't want to look at again, it's kind of annoying. But it's really, what it does is it knows that you had touched that. And I like the fact that they're communicating things that are interesting to me. I'm a real big proponent of, when I need you, I'll reach out to you. Don't kind of come after me. But if I've gone to the extent of putting it into a cart, I've shown enough interest to have that remarketing happening. So I just think that is magical, what you do with the remarketing, with the following around, with the SEO. You're doing all that behind the scenes, yummy stuff that needs to be done in order to place people where they really want to be seen and elevate their business, right?
Yeah, that is the main thing, is trying to get the more sales and leads without spending money on ads. But the ads do support the organic side of things, because I realized over the years, SEO just gets you traffic, but that doesn't mean they're going to make a purchase. And if you have a perfectly optimized website for conversions, it's still not going to convert all the time. So keep yourself top of mind, having multiple touch points, doing some email marketing, like trying to capture people's emails, doing social media. It all works together to just build trust and credibility, and for people to hopefully want to make that purchase eventually.
What does that layer look like? So now I SEO my website. What's another layer to help boost that? Because it's a layered method is what you're talking about, by having social media, by doing blogs, by, you know, having some banner ads if you choose to do that, by having your SEO needs to be pristine, right? You need someone like you, and you watch the SEO. When somebody hires you, you stay on to watch it and tweak it. That's the cool thing about digital is if something's not working, you could go in there and boop, you could change the word, right?
Yep, you go in there and make those changes in real time, which makes it a little bit easier, but it all works together. It's just funneling traffic to your website, whether it's from social, email, whatever it is, paid ads, everything just ultimately should go to your website. You just want people to get to your website. You could be a guest on podcasts. You could do interviews on like the LA Times or New York Times and just
Or
get all
Healthy
these.
Lifestyle with LA.
Exactly. Is the more sites that you're on, the better. And if you get on your site or any site that's related, as long as it's related to what you're doing, that's really going to help out. So the more niche relevant it is, the better off that website's going to be to benefit you and get you targeted traffic.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So in our last minute or two, Brandon, what's your why? Why do you do what you do?
I like helping people get more traffic or watching their businesses grow and succeed, and helping people spend less money on Google ads because Google makes way too much money and they don't need you to keep spending money on ads, but definitely like helping businesses grow and watching them get to that level that they're trying to obtain.
And how long have you been? I know you've been working at SEO Optimizers since 2007. How long have you been doing SEO, and how long have you been a technical geek? And I mean that with love, because I love geeking.
I fell into it in 2007, and right when I got my degree in business marketing, got the first job doing SEO. I had no idea what it is, and after working there for a few months, just realized that I could do SEO for this client or this company full time, but I could also go to like a restaurant or a lawyer or somewhere where it's not a conflict of interest and pick up a freelance client here or there. So right when I got that first job, I just started doing some freelance here or there and just kept building it up, working before work or after work and on my lunch breaks, and eventually built that up to where I was able to quit my job and focus solely on this.
And this is your company, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being on today, Brandon. Brandon Leibowitz, SEOoptimizers.com. Reach out, see what he does, see what he can do for you. I'm telling you, you keep in your brain zone of genius and let Brandon be in his zone of genius, and he will actually increase your opportunities for your business. Thank you all for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I hope we earned the privilege of your time. Again, I want to thank our guest today, Brandon Leibowitz. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you. If you're looking for a business coach, accountability, strategy, direction, a sounding board, if you can't get out of your own way for some reason, you just can't getting started, reach out to us. Feel free to reach out. We'll have a conversation. We'll help to see if we're a good fit. Call us at 516-983-3591 and we'll help you soar to success. Thank you again for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with myself and Brandon Leibowitz. Look for our show next Saturday at 3. Until next time, play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up big. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks again, Brandon.